January 1994. My name is Lila Morgan. For years, I've traveled through time. Not because I wanted to, because something keeps pulling me through it. Every jump costs me a memory, a birthday, a face, a name. I sketch everything before it's gone. It's the only way I remember who I used to be. Then, I met Elliot Hart. He doesn't travel through time. He remembers every version of it, every timeline, every choice, every world that no longer exists. And that's why he came looking for me. It was just after midnight when Elliot knocked on my apartment door. He wasn't smiling this time. "You've been followed," he said. "By who?" He glanced down the empty hallway. "The people who erase timelines." I laughed. "I've heard a lot of crazy things over the years." He shook his head. "No, Lila, you've escaped them." He pulled an old photograph from his jacket. It showed the two of us standing in front of a lighthouse. He looked older, maybe 40. Behind us stood 3 children I didn't recognize. I stared at him. "This never happened." He looked at me sadly. "It did. Just not anymore." He explained something I had never considered. Every time I traveled, history didn't change. It split. Each decision created another timeline. Most collapsed on their own. Some survived. A few were erased. "Someone is deleting them," Elliot whispered. "Who? I don't know. But I remember everyone they've destroyed." Before I could ask another question, my pocket watch started vibrating. Not ticking. Vibrating. I'd never seen it do that before. The hands spun wildly backward. The room darkened. Elliot grabbed my arm. "Don't let go." The apartment disappeared. We landed inside an enormous library. Books stretched farther than I could see. Thousands. Millions of them. Every spine had a year instead of a title. There was no ceiling. Only darkness. "What is this place?" I whispered. Elliot looked terrified. "The archive. The archive isn't supposed to exist anymore." Before us stood an old woman dressed in black. She looked ancient, yet somehow familiar. "You've returned," she said. Her voice echoed through every shelf. "I've never been here." She smiled. "Oh, Lila, you've been here hundreds of times. You simply never remember." She handed me a book, labeled Timeline 47. Inside were photographs instead of pages. My childhood, my parents, the lighthouse, meeting Elliot. Everything I'd lived. Then, blank pages. "What happened?" The old woman closed the book. "That future was erased." She pointed toward thousands of empty spaces across the shelves. Every missing book belonged to a world that no longer exists. I looked around. There were far more empty shelves than books. Suddenly, the lights went out, one by one. Darkness swept across the library. The old woman's face changed. For the first time, she looked afraid. "They found you." A deep metallic sound echoed through the archive, like giant gears turning somewhere beneath reality. Footsteps, slow, heavy, getting closer. Elliot grabbed my hand. "We have to run." We sprinted between endless shelves. Books began vanishing around us, not falling, disappearing. Entire years blinked out of existence. Gone, gone, gone. Where the books vanished, nothing remained. Just black emptiness. The footsteps stopped. Silence. Then a voice echoed through the archive. Impossible to tell if it belonged to a man or a woman. "Lila Morgan, you were scheduled for deletion 12 years ago." Every hair on my arm stood up. The darkness ahead shifted. A tall figure emerged wearing a long black coat. Its face wasn't hidden. It simply didn't exist, where its features should have been. There was only moving darkness. Elliot froze. "No, it found us." The figure raised one hand. Every clock in the archive stopped ticking. Then it spoke again. "You continue creating impossible timelines. You remember what should be forgotten." It turned toward Elliot. "And you remember what never happened." The old woman shoved something into my hands. It was another pocket watch, except this one was cracked straight down the middle. "When this breaks," she whispered, "run." The figure stepped forward. The floor beneath us dissolved into darkness. The cracked watch began ticking faster. Then, it shattered. Everything exploded into white light. I woke up on the floor of my apartment. Morning sunlight streamed through the window. No library, no old woman, no faceless figure, just silence. For a moment, I thought it had all been another impossible journey. Then I noticed something on my coffee table. A single book, black leather, no title. I opened it. Every page was blank, except the last. Written in fresh ink were 6. "They know where you'll travel next." I slammed the book shut. Someone knocked on my door. 3 slow knocks. I looked through the peephole. Standing in the hallway was Elliot. He looked terrified, and behind him, a person with no face was waiting, smiling.